Hello, and welcome to the 7th episode of Season 4 of Next Generation's First Generation, a Star Trek The Next Generation watch-along podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Patrick Delmore, and with me at Next Gen First Gen South is Mr. Sascha Shouties.
Hello there! Welcome!
Today we are going to be watching Episode 7 of Season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation, which is called Reunion. And it is a good one.
And if I remember correctly, this is where we get a little bit more backstory on Worf's immediate family. So,
yes. Well, we get an introduction to a member of Worf's immediate family.
Oh, okay.
I need a revisionist history as far as I'm concerned in this, but it is our first real sequel to an episode, because this is really a sequel to the it's a sequel to 2 episodes. It's a sequel to the one about this ambassador whose name I can't remember, and that's a sequel to the episode where we were introduced to Worf's brother, who was played by Tony Todd. So a couple of storylines from 2 other episodes coming together. Now, yes, we had seen elements come back, like the Borg were done a couple of times, but this is the first time that, not in a 2-parter, that a continuing backstory kept going.
So, very, very vague story arc, really.
Yes.
All right.
That lasts all the way to the end of Deep Space Nine.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're new to the game, which I would imagine few of you are, all you have to do is queue up your Netflix or DVD, or just listen along as you drive. We're going to give you the countdown, and so you can sync up with the dialogue to our commentary. So, are you ready over there, Pat?
I'm ready here at Kentley Studios in beautiful Seattle, Washington.
Woohoo, here we go. The countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Boom. It's the close-up of the Enterprise.
We got the spooky music, so we know something's up.
I like how he says a Regulon.
Regulon.
Yeah, Regulon. Mr. Data? Would you like some Regulon, Mr. Worf? It's very irregular.
So they are investigating radiation, which, surprisingly, is just a cloaked Klingon ship.
Mm-hmm.
Klingon attack cruiser decloaking, bearing 010 or 237.
And they're looking the side eye there, like, oh man, Klingons, what's going on?
On screen.
And why Starfleet would mention that these ships are out there is beyond me.
All stop, Mr. Crusher.
Well, they've let the Enterprise know.
Open a channel.
Well, hey, it's Kayla.
And she just winked, too, when she came on screen. Picard's happy to see her. He stands up, walks toward her.
Good to see you again, Captain. Lieutenant Worf.
Oh, there's Worf. He's happy. Look at that face of complete shock and surprise.
Permission to come aboard.
Worf is never relaxed.
She winked again.
Yes.
I did not notice this the first time I was watching how many times she winks.
I was looking at this maybe about 20 minutes ago before recording, and I noticed that as well, and for a second there I was like, stroke? Maybe? One eye's closing faster than the other? No.
So it's weird. So so when we found out about Worf's discommendation,
Yeah?
basically what the Klingons had previously thought about him was that he's in Starfleet, it doesn't matter, he's not part of our society anymore. So now he's actually in name, not part of their society anymore.
Yeah.
And he thinks they're going to consider this a bigger deal and be more offended. And he's right. But it's kind of stupid that they act this way about it, as far as I'm concerned.
That's true. Well, the one thing that the Picard does is, every time a ship decloaks, you can't just run away. You've got your job to perform. So.
Yeah. And Worf comes out good in the end, but he has kind of a mixed showing in this, which you would in the situation that he's in. So what we didn't mention is that Kalar has, and that is her name, Ambassador Kalar?
Correct.
Okay. Kempek's the current leader of the Klingon Empire. Okay, so Kalar has shown up. She's got a kiddo with her. Now, this I did remember from being 8 years old and seeing this episode. I didn't remember anything about the previous Kalar episode or the episode about Worf's brother. So the political part of this went completely over my head. In fact, I remember Kalar's death very differently than how it happens on the show. And part of that is because they don't actually show her getting killed. They show the lead up to it and the aftermath of it. So to my 8-year-old brain, like, any number of things could have happened. And what I thought happened was completely different than what happened. And I'll tell you when we get there what I remember having happened. But in any case, this episode introduces Alexander, and it also introduces for the first time the Bat'leth.
Really?
We had never seen one before or heard what it was called. Yep.
Huh. It also introduces Gowron, who will
go on to gain. Yes, will go on to gain quite a bit of weight.
So, I cannot believe I'm saying this, Pat, but this is our 81st episode right here.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, we're about halfway through the season, so for the folks that have been riding along with us, thank you so much. Oh, she's dropping him off at school.
Yep.
He's giving her a little wave.
It's something that they have on the ship. Now there should be, as far as I'm concerned, a teacher there to usher him in as well. I mean, just that she just leaves him in a corner is a little weird, but there's probably a setup to it that we didn't see.
So, the parents are dropping off the kid to school. There's Alexander. He's just looking at these blocks. Oh, she is so proud. Look at that mommy face on her.
She's excited to be back with the father of her child. She is in the total realm of magical thinking here, though. She's thinking that everything will be okay because I'm going to be back with this kid's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very wrong about that. But she's not like completely like crazy or irrational, because she does try to figure out what's up with him. And it leads to her not having a very good end, sadly. But no, showing up with a kid and expecting your old partner to get back together with you doesn't usually work.
No?
Yeah, no.
Billie Jean was... Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So, here's the odd part, is that Worf is playing Mr. Frosty there in the turbo lift, and she's trying to flirt her way back into the relationship, and she's acting very much human and not Klingon. And she's made it really clear in the previous episode that she was in that, I really don't care about Klingon rituals. That's kind of your thing, not mine. So I found it odd that Worf kind of said, I've been disaccommodated, so you can't talk to me, or there's dishonor for you and your son. And I thought it was like, if you know her so well, she ain't gonna buy that line of crap, man.
No, but he's worried. He is worried about the kid, because this just got dumped on him. That it's like he might not have decided to accept discommendation if he'd known he had a kid to worry about. And Alexander was alive and well somewhere when he did take discommendation. She could have told him that he existed, and it would have changed his decision. So this guy's in a bit of a, I went and made a very important decision without having all of the information that I needed to have to make it, kind of a place. And Kalar doesn't quite know why he made the choice that he made. She's got to, go through computer records, talk to Picard, talk to him, and once she gets the information, I mean, she goes after Duras like a friggin' snake, or it doesn't even do that. She finds out, Duras confronts her, and then once that happens, she pushes back really hard. But again, like you said, she doesn't count herself Klingon. So what she should have said when Duras does confront her eventually is like, look, I don't care about this stuff.
And
You know,
she's the Klingon, the Federation's ambassador to the Klingons, not the other way around.
Yes.
So now, I was wrong. This is the second time we've seen Duras. Because Duras was in that last episode where Worf got kicked out of the Klingon club.
It's the first time we've seen, what's his name? Gowron.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, not Duras. What about Kempek? He was there,
Kempek
too.
was in that episode, too, yeah.
And this is who's talking right now, is Kempek. Yeah. So, Kempek and Picard are talking very much like they're familiars, you know. Almost, I want to say friends. Well, maybe not friends, but they respect each other.
He's a Klingon that was cool with the idea of it being allies with the Federation. And he saw that Picard respected them when he came in to help Worf out with his troubles. So he is going to. He's like, you know, you're the only person that I can think of that could possibly be impartial in all of this. You got to pick a new ruler. And Starfleet says that they're cool with that.
Well, it's kind of funny because Picard is thrust upon deciding the future of an entire race. And I wonder if there was meant to be a parallel of the son being thrust upon Worf, where he has to make decisions for his son's future as well.
Mm-hmm. But Picard saw this as a possibility. I don't want to say that because Worf and Kalar hooked up, that Worf was like, you know, it's possible that I've got a kid. Because we don't know for sure. It's likely, but that he hasn't hooked up with anybody else since he hooked up with Kalar either.
True. Did we ever address the age discrepancy between when Kalar and Worf hooked up and right now? Because that little boy looks like about, what, 4, would you say?
Here's what I think. That wasn't the first time they'd ever met. There was already an Alexander when they hooked up in that.
Right, because she was trying to rekindle an existing relationship.
And he wanted to go full Klingon with it, and that wasn't what she wanted. Because, like we said before, when he chose to be in Starfleet, that made all of the Klingons think differently about him.
And maybe that's why she just didn't want to have to deal with, well, if you want to go full Klingon, I really don't want to tell you about your son.
Yeah, I don't want to go full Klingon.
So, which is funny because Alexander he ended up going mostly Klingon.
Yeah.
Except...
unless that future Alexander that we meet in that one episode, unless he turned out to actually be future Alexander. So anyways, they really don't want Duras to lead the Empire because he's the son of a traitor. He wants Gowron to be his successor. And I think Picard honestly gives Duras a fair shake in this. He actually is impartial.
Well,
but he's got, 2 advisors around. He's got 2 advisors, actually 3, if Kempek counts as an advisor, that are telling him, yeah, Duras is bad. Kalar is like, Duras is bad. Worf's like, Duras is bad. I took discommendation because of him. And Picard pushes back at Worf and goes, no, dude, you took discommendation because you wanted to take discommendation.
Oh, that's good acting. Growl at the kids.
Here's our growly scene. You know what though? Little kids growl.
Do they?
I've seen human children do that. I actually knew a kid once that thought he was a tiger. But anyway, I like how Worf handles this.
He just points. You gotta go. Man, he's so small. Look at that.
Yep.
Holy freaking smokes.
I don't know for sure, but I think that this actor was a little person. He sadly passed away in 2018.
Yes. He didn't have. He only had a one-off television career. He was in a couple of TV movies and episodes. I think he was in Growing Pains? No. What was the name of that show where you had Winnie and...
The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years, yeah. He was in one of those. Then he moved to Colorado and formed a punk band, and then the punk band moved to Portland around 2005. Their band broke up in like 2009, and then he started working, I think, as a full partner in a vegan restaurant. And then the restaurant closed when he passed away, unfortunately, back in 2018, January 1st, I want to say. The New Year's Day, I think, is when he passed away.
But he's not the actor that will play Alexander for the remainder of the series.
No. In fact, I think they go through 3 of them.
There's a different actor that plays him in... Actually, no, I think there's 4, because I think he's the 2 times that he's on Deep Space Nine, he's a different actor both times.
Boy, if only I had the internet right in front of me. You guys are so lucky I'm super lazy right now. I don't even want to put the keyboard in my lap. Well, we're having a conversation here between Kayla and Worf talking about the dishonor of the kiddo. And she's redirecting it to disc accommodation. And it's a big secret, and she can't stand a secret.
Now, it's interesting is that she's fighting so hard against the Duroses. But what's going to happen with the Duroses is that they want it to become a female-led house. And that all goes up in smoke. So if that had happened and that precedent had been set, Alexander could easily go, no, I'm the son of my mother, not necessarily the son of my father. But events take a very different course. I love all of the model ships in this. It's great.
Oh, they're beautiful. I love the Birds of Prey.
The Scala at Worf's tactical position is pretty cute, too.
It's Doras.
Good time, Duras.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So nobody's really happy to have Picard around him. He knows it. So all he can do is be grumpy and call foul on everybody.
But he's not gonna get in a physical fight with him, which is kind of why Kempek did this. So yeah, I don't think he should even be able to see him from the angle Worf's standing at next to the view screen.
You know, if Skype can blur out what's going on in the background, you should be able to have really private conversations on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was it they had? Like holographic overlays after a while? They figured that out?
Mm-hmm.
So you could skin, kind of like the Instagram filter, more or less, for the bridge. So I could give myself Andorian... antenna and Klingon head ridges.
And this is where, when I talked about the revisionist stuff, is that we had already set up in that episode where Worf took his discommendation that he's Starfleet first.
Yes.
But now we're kind of backsliding and saying, well, no, he's got all these very strong feelings about being a Klingon that Picard has now got to kind of balance. And here's something I just thought of.
Okay.
Well, I guess Picard doesn't know about Alexander yet, does he?
No, he does not. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me tell you something. 5 people have played Alexander Roshenko.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, let's see here. This would have been 2367. So this actor is currently, his name's John Stewart, the individual who sadly passed away. So, and they have a photograph of Alexander, and that is your 5th actor right there. So they just needed a kid to look like him, jump in and put on this makeup and take a photo with Michael Dorn, and congratulations, you now have a credit.
Yeah. No, the headpiece is pretty good because
Well, I know little of Gowron.
they have a very clear idea of what he looks like until Deep Space Nine, where it's like, I just have to take your word for it. So that's supposed to be Alexander.
Well, I'm looking at the two photos here of old Alexander and young Alexander, and the ridges, the cranial ridges, are pretty similar. And then if you compare the cranial ridges of Alexander to Worf, you can see a familiar relation. And if you notice, all the Klingons have these very unique ridges. It's not like two.
That's Gowron.
Oh, with his big buggy eyes. He is a freaky dude. Those eyes, man. Who's the actor who played that? Robert O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I am really impressed. And if you look at his non-makeup picture, he is very much also buggy-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he passed away, I think.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, no. Oh, they're using the paint sticks. They're doing...
Yep, to prove that he's dead.
Kempek barbecue. And you can notice how they're kind of turning the paint stick now. When Duras gets this, he really leans in. Like, I want to make sure it truly hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes. Whoa.
And what if Kempek just sat up and was just like, die for this?
The actor's like, I just puked a little, thanks.
Yeah.
So this is the proof that he's dead ceremony? Yes.
Complete the rite of succession.
Oh,
Obviously, the two challengers are.
Picard, they want Picard to make a choice right then and there. Picard's not going to have it. He's going to have a nice diplomatic, peaceful discussion.
We convene on board the Enterprise. Where is? No, finish it here.
Oh, I forgot. This is where there's the bomb.
Yeah.
It's the bomb.
Which turns out to have a Romulan timer.
Well, what's the point of having the bomb? Like, I've been running this over my head. It's like, if Picard picked the wrong person, then the bomb could have killed whoever Picard picked. But you could have just as easily killed your own guy in there. It just doesn't make any sense for that bomb to go off. The only reason it went off is to help move the plot along that the Romulans were involved.
Yep.
Which is not the first time the Federation has used forensic analysis to finger the Romulans. Excuse my language. But you think they'd figure it out? This got to be all Klingon tech, guys. For all their planning and deceivousness.
I know. I'm sure the Klingon bomb would have worked just as well.
One thing's really interesting is that the Klingons are pretty dismissive of forensic analysis. They're more interested in how something appears and whether or not you believe in the story rather than what's actually true. So they're very narrative driven as a culture.
Mm-hmm.
Which goes into, like, I like to tell fun stories. I'm not always truthful. I tend to tell fishing trip stories. I caught a fish that's a little bigger than I actually did, or bigger than I actually did. So the Klingons, their motto should really be, if it's not true, it has to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting a little romantic there. They might actually do it.
Yeah, if the truth doesn't work, tell the legend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think Worf really enjoys hating himself.
A little bit. I mean, I think Chekhov would say the Russians invented hating themselves.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that one.
I'm talking about Ensign Chekhov this time, not Chekhov writer.
Gotcha. So really, what's really ruining this relationship now is that Alexander exists. And the more Worf pursues this, so they both really want a relationship. You could tell by how they're looking at each other, how they're talking to each other. But they can't involve the boy.
I hate that. If you can't be his father, be his friend. It's like, yeah, he'll like that because he's not going to find out.
I mean, all they have to do is, I could see it where, like, Alexander is running down the hallway, he scrapes his knee, and he visits the sick bay, and next thing you know, what? He's the father? Instant paternity test.
Yep. I mean, it's TV. They could just have Crusher be like, I can't read Klingon DNA or blood types.
The old forms dictated that the challengers perform the Jashuk.
So they're coming up with a strategy meeting to draw out this investigation as long as possible. So really, they need a legal runaround to slow things down to complete the bomb investigation.
And that turns out to be just having the two contenders for Chancellor recite all of the battles and awards that they've won, which what Klingon wouldn't want to do that for hours and hours?
Right?
It seems like that wouldn't be something they would get rid of.
And you think they'd do it drunk, too. Like, they'd replicate a big hall in the holodeck and then bring in the crews from both ships and just everybody get drunk and party all night. And in the morning, with the people who are still left standing, they tell the stories. Oh, they've removed all the chairs.
Oh, man, that just makes me think, like, the fun things you could do in the holodeck with how forced perspective is supposed to work. So you like stand like almost belly to belly with your friend, and it's like, holodeck, put us a mile apart from one another. So you're still that these security officers suck, by the way. Look at this. The guy behind Gowron has got his phaser basically pulled on the other security officer.
Right.
And then watch this. He can't figure out how to put the phaser away. Like, dang it. What? Okay, I just gotta hold it in my other hand.
What I want to know is why they bothered to point their weapons at a potential head of state. I mean, if anything, they should just fight it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of, that's more of the insult, is to stop a Klingon fight. Let them beat each other up and then continue with your business. If Picard really respected these guys, he'd let them thump each other.
Then you have Janeway, who would be like, all right, Ireland, 1930.
Oh, there's the Bat'leth?
Yep, and this is where Worf explains to Alexander what it is. And I remembered this from, being 8. I remember the name Bat'leth and how it worked and everything. Just thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
That's so cool. I love that as a kid. I'm like, whoa, we're playing with swords in space.
Yeah, it's as big as he is.
I wonder how much Michael Dorn practiced just to kind of make
Probably
this
quite
look
a bit.
Good. It's actually quite an elegant weapon, and with that curvature in the arm, he can have a lot of movement and range. Uh-oh. Croissant Head is in the room. Oh, no, that's not Croissant Head. That's Buggy Eye.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah, he's, O'Reilly here, he's had a Broadway career, too.
Huh.
Yeah, he was in The Tavern. It was a revival show.
The guy with the buggy eyes.
Yeah, he was in an off-Broadway play called The Promise.
Why should I?
Where he played the buggy-eyed guy.
Yeah. And then he opened up a bug museum. Oh, no.
Turns out he's an entomologist.
So, actually,
What do you want?
knowing the Klingons now, as an adult, this conversation makes perfect sense. This powerful guy wants to bribe his way into success, which is typical for high government officials in the Klingon Empire. It's very corrupt. When I was a kid, I for a second there, I thought he was the bad guy just because he offered the bribe.
Right. I never liked Gowron as a kid.
Oh, I never liked him in DS9. I was so happy when Worf carved him up. I'm like, I have been waiting years for this.
I am
Oh, he's got the... Yeah, you've got claws, lady. Oh, why is Riker looking angry?
We completed our analysis of the bomb debris, Commander.
Did he have not enough people
For a second, I thought Geordi had a juice box in his hand.
It's could have been more than 3 cubic millimeters in size. It could have been hidden anywhere in that room.
That's a small bomb.
There's one more thing.
3 cubic millimeters. That's like
Yep.
a grain of like this very, very small clump of sand.
Yeah, that's what that's like what was inside, what's her name? Tasha's sister in the last episode.
Right?
Romulans plant a bomb on
A
board
bomb?
the attack cruiser. It would be impossible.
Not if the Romulans had help from one of the.
I'm getting tired of everybody being so surprised that the Romulans are involved. That should be your go-to assumption.
They showed up and said, we're going to start monkeying with stuff again.
If true,
I mean, when your enemy does that, you got to figure they got their hands in a couple of pies.
it would put the Federation in a very
Particularly with their old enemies, the Klingons. Woo!
or Gowron.
Isn't that how they got the Klingons got the cloak? They got it from the Romulans.
Doesn't suggest the Romulan
Yes.
He also implied I'd end up like Kimbeck if I didn't cooperate.
I gotta say the
I disagree. It must
I love
be
that.
us.
Like everybody else, or both Riker and Data here are like, okay, Duras or Gowron. Riker's just like alms or mounds or almond joy.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Could be a direct
Sometimes
threat
don't.
to the security of the Federation. Yes, sir.
Oh,
As Chief Security Officer, I want you to
Oh,
accompany me to
man.
the next proceeding.
they're gonna bring Worf in.
Captain,
Picard wants to piss off all the Klingons, so he's gonna pull his token Klingon out.
it will.
It's like, really, you should just bring Riker in there and have Riker like take a Sharpie and make some Klingon ridges on its head.
Oh, he'd get his butt kicked for sure.
I know.
Okay, here's our 10-minute forensic evaluation that solves the entire show.
No, this is her trying to figure out what happened with the discommodation.
Yeah, she's gonna be digging around in everybody's files. So, when I was a kid, why would you make a personal log and then lock it for no one to read?
Because your personal log.
And then you don't write it down.
He has his log as a as the lieutenant that's as the head of security, which is public, that you should probably be able to read.
Well, personal log, I think diary.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still like if he died and they needed to figure out what happened, his superior officers would be able to read his personal log.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the ship's computer.
So this guy right here, Duras, I think I mentioned this before. He did a lot of work on Caprica. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Huh, Caprica, that was a show.
It really
I
was.
actually liked Caprica quite a bit. I didn't finish it, nor did I finish Battlestar Galactica, but what I saw of Caprica I liked quite a bit.
I heard that they were gonna. I think you were telling me this. They were gonna remake the BSG series.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
No, I did hear that. I don't know if we were talking about it, but yeah, I did hear they were going to do it again.
Oh! I take it all back. So this guy Patrick Massett, Duras, he was only the co-executive producer and writer for 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So he must have screwed up big time for him to
Or
get.
he just didn't like it anymore. I mean, Caprica went through a lot of weird production changes when it was on TV.
Really?
Yeah. It was really wanted to bank off of being the prequel to Battlestar Galactica, but it also had absolutely no idea where it was going. Battlestar Galactica clearly had a mapped out beginning, middle, and an end, and Caprica was just like, here's an idea. Let's see how far we can get with it.
Let's hack a Nintendo Wii and create an artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah, well, anyway, Patrick Massett, he did help, he was one of the writers on Tomb Raider. So, there we go. Enough about
The
Tomb
new Tomb Raider?
This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. with another guy named Zimmerman. And
The new Tomb Raider or the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider?
the Laura Croft Tomb Raider, 2001.
Oh, okay.
So Angelina Jolie.
Looks like a fun movie. Anyway, so Worf in this meeting where he just gets in the guy's face and yells is very, very. I trained under Riker on how to talk to people, but it's a clink.
The Riker School of Bitching.
Yeah.
Computer, display summary of the most recent High Council.
She knows how good she looks in a cat suit.
Right.
Fun.
I don't know if Catwoman showed up, she'd be like, "No, I gotta give you some pointers."
Access biographical files.
She's got some big hair, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, it's just a wig.
Did you enjoy looking at your laptop?
Yeah, let me just throw my tactical vest over here. Yep. Mhm.
So this guy bending over here, his name is Mirren Willis, and that's the best you see of him, just bending over right there. Oh no, wait, yep. You don't ever see his face, but that was enough to get a profile picture of him on Memory Alpha. If you look for this guy in Memory Alpha, you just see a profile picture of him leaned over looking at a laptop. But he did come back to do Star Trek Voyager. He was a Kazon there a couple of times.
So she has found out that Duros's father was the traitor, and she's gonna cling on him with it, be like, which means you're a traitor, which means you suck, and even though you came here to kill me, I'm still gonna yell at you. And I wish we'd seen them fight. Because we saw her, really kick ass at Worf's calisthenics program. So it would have been pretty cool to actually see, like, her give back to him. Kind of like, what's his name? James Gandolfini and Patricia Arquette in True Romance, which I think came out 2 years after this. Yeah, 1992. But no, we're just going to discover in a little bit that she got beaten literally within an inch of her life.
Oh.
So remember I said at the beginning that I remember that happening differently? Mm-hmm. So Worf comes in, there's like bloody handprints on the furniture, all kinds of awful stuff. I remembered her being in like an accident in transporter room, not with the transporter, but that something blew up in there, and that she had to leave Alexander, and there was a whole speech about like, take care of the boy, and it's funny rewatching this that didn't happen.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Did Riker just say suicide is an honorable way to die?
Did he?
Yeah, as long as you take an enemy with you, or maybe he's paraphrasing the intent. Oh, she's got a knife in her hand. Look at that. Oh, no. I just looked at the fabric wrong. Oh, there she is. She's all slashed up.
Alex, Dad, look at. I like that she thought it was that he thought it was Gowron first. It was kind of weird.
Well, he's buggy-eyed, man. He's freaky. Oh, there we go. Her last attempt. Make this work, guys. Awkward.
Sorry, there's some honking going on out there.
And the very beginning of the awkward father-son relationship.
And now he's going to do the Klingon scream to show his son how it's done. Roar!
I hope he flossed.
Yeah, that poor kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to scoot over here.
Look at the wall. Find the X on the floor and run to it. Then look down.
Yeah. Now Crusher comes in and does like very bad doctor. Like, there's a little boy in the room. Like, did he see what happened? Like, we need to do trauma response, like, right now.
Right?
Like, little kid saw his mom hacked to pieces.
Well, this guy that Mommy works with came in and murdered her, and then my dad ran out to find him and kill him.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Klingon.
Well, trauma has a way of shaping someone irreversibly. And I would almost suspect that acts of violence like this are probably encouraged for children to witness in the in the Klingon Empire, so it helps shape their who they are.
And that may be why Crusher doesn't do anything, is that she's like, okay, Klingon kid has to stand there and watch this. I learned this in medical school, so I'm not going to do anything.
Now I'm really surprised that Worf took off his family sash.
But kept on his Starfleet uniform.
Yeah.
Because what he's about to do wouldn't be so bad of a thing if he was not in his Starfleet uniform.
All right, where's the kiddo? He's still in the corner.
Yeah.
What is Picard looking at? He's these very distant gazes into the scenery. He's like he's looking at the dolly from the side eye.
It's funny because Riker is the Jonathan Frakes is the director of this episode, so he's probably the one giving him his cues as what to do.
Wait, what? I didn't read the credits this time. Yeah, directed by Jonathan Frakes. This isn't his first directing.
I don't know if it is or not, but good directing as far as the effects stuff, and character stuff as well.
Honestly think that as Frakes got older, he was better behind the camera than in front of
him.
I never really liked him as an older character. He did pretty good for a chippy 25-something.
Yeah. And he took off his communicator badge, Worf did. So,
but it didn't fool the computer. The computer still knew he beamed off. Uh-oh. The fight's on. Klingons are all about the fight of vengeance. What is that thing? It's like
a scimitar. I love Data's like, so do I get to beat up Worf? Do I want to beat him up?
I think he just wants to know, if I shoot, what am I shooting for? The transporter chief there, by the way, her name is April Grace, who's also been in a lot of theater and
a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
She's in what's it called? I want to say she is the mother in Unbreakable, Samuel L. Jackson's mother in that movie.
Ooh, yeah, you might be right. No! Oh, well, Worf made the decision on who leads the Empire. Right there.
But he just shouldn't have been wearing his Starfleet uniform when he did that.
He kind of looks like a eunuch without any of the badges or sashes.
So Matt and I were watching the end of this and talking, and I think that what Picard should have done was he should have said here, you don't get to wear that sash on the bridge anymore.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It should have been his response to this. Apparently, his response, though, is he just kept Worf as a lieutenant for another 3.5 years and didn't promote him to
boundaries of Klingon law and tradition.
What is it? Lieutenant Commander.
Well, Picard's pissed because Worf acted without consult. Picard very much wants control over what's going on with Worf.
Not with Worf, with his officers specifically. If he's in uniform, he's acting as a representative of Starfleet, and he just went and did a personal vengeance thing.
Perform his or her duty because of the demands of their society. They should resign.
And it's funny because Picard wants to look at it like, you did this because you're a Klingon, not because this guy killed your wife. Or the mother of your son, rather. But again, he doesn't know about Alexander at all yet.
By the way, there's this little kid on the ship.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to tell you about with me getting in trouble for murdering someone.
Yep. He's like, well, I'm glad you're sticking around, because, yeah.
I am just really surprised the Federation didn't freak out more than they already did. But as Kalar said, we suspect Duras is in bed with the Romulans, so the Federation does not want this. And she says this as an ambassador.
Well, the conversation that probably happened with Starfleet Command and Picard about this was, well, this sucks, but we can't be seen to be kicking out on when all this is going on. If he resigns, and you need to, kind of push him in that direction, that's fine. If he resigns his commission, but we can't be seen to have drummed out our only Klingon. Just does not look good, no matter what he did.
Do you think Worf should have been made ambassador at the end of DS9?
Yes.
Worf seems to flourish more when he's given more latitude. It's like the more you lock down on him, the more cagey he gets and unsure about himself. But if you give him a broad scope to kind of find his own path, he really thrives.
So I like this ending a lot.
Well, yeah.
And I love it that he's sitting in this in that chair, which I used to actually, because I saw Alexander sit on that, I used to have weird dreams that I was sitting in that.
Really?
So this did definitely affect my mind as an 8-year-old child watching this episode. I actually remember what I was for Halloween that year, too.
Say that again?
I remember what I was for Halloween that year, since we're...
what were you?
I was Indiana Jones.
Ah, yes.
My uncle's hat and leather jacket. He had just come back from Turkey. So I actually met him. I'd known about him, but I didn't meet him until that summer when I was 8. I am your father.
Yeah, it's kind
No, it's not true. It's not possible. Oh, no, I just want to hold your hand and give you a hug.
I can't believe he's shipping him off to his parents.
I can. Safer.
It's safer? Well, I'll tell that to all the other kids living on the freaking ship.
Yeah. Like that poor Jeremy whose mom came back as a ghost.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right. That was Reunion.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
I do too. I give that one 5 out of 5. I think it's a fantastically good Star Trek episode.
I think it's oh boy, that's tough. I don't want to give it a 5 out of 5 because I personally, entertainment-wise, I find the story really boring. It was boring then. It's kind of boring now, but there's some intrigue because it sets up. It adds to the narrative of Worf and the Klingons. Like every time you see a Klingon episode, I feel like I'm learning something new, and that's the treat of Klingon episodes is that they just introduce some new thing as it's always been this way. So you kind of feel like you're becoming encultured, or at least getting deeper in the narrative. But I don't watch TV to kind of go down the academic road, I guess you could say, of learning about fictional cultures. I want to see explosions. I want to see violence. Well, you have
to see some cool ships.
Yeah, exactly.
There was an explosion, and there was violence.
Oh, yep, that's right. All right, well, I'm gonna say 4.5, and it's really rare that I give a 4.5, but that's where I'm gonna settle on this one. So. Well, Joy, what's coming up next on our queue here? This episode, I want to say
Future Imperfect, which is another one of my favorites.
Future Imperfect. So this episode came out November 5th, 1990. So Future Imperfect would have come out on November 12th. Oh, you know what? We will have known who the new president is.
I bet we won't.
No, you don't think so?
I bet we won't. Yep.
All right. So,
it'll be very similar to what it was like in 2000.
Well, make sure your chads aren't hanging or pregnant. Yep. We will see what happens there. So again, we're gonna put the little. We hope that you're safe. It's in uncertain times right now during the era of COVID. We're recording this at the end of July, so we are talking to our future selves right now and say we hope all that is going well. We're glad you're still around, and thank you for listening, and be safe. With that, please take a look at our vast archive of episodes. They're on iTunes, on Libsyn. We also have a good collection on YouTube, and also check out the Two True Freaks Network, where we have a number of movie commentaries as well for our Shore Leave series.
And that'll be in the general feed for the site.
So, with that being said, I'd like to say, have a wonderful day.
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So, you're the guest.
So Sasha, what's a Star Trek
Hi,
Next Generation?
I'm the guest.
So, Sasha, what is Star Trek Next Generation?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear, Broke for Free, As Colorful as Ever, Recreation by Airtone, Wireless by Lee Rosevere, Audio Engineering by Sascha Shouties, Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirschner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.
Good night.